What is he getting wrong in Michigan?
Well, I think actually he's getting a lot of things right. So the question is, why is the poll showing us that people are really still a little bit unhappy about the economy? And I think it's just inflation was hard for people to take. I think they don't know who to blame and they want to hold somebody accountable. And I don't think that union membership has particularly rallied around anyone yet. I would be surprised if President Biden wasn't able to build that support among union members. But I think what this poll shows is he's got his work cut out for him, because people, they're not focused on the overall economy. They're not watching shows like Balance of Power most of the time. What they're doing is they're out and about.
Hey,
and
that was a shot, Betsy.
Sorry. But, they're going to the grocery store and they're like, why am I paying more for my groceries? And, that's a really hard, complicated thing to help people understand that, we had inflation coming out of the pandemic because demand exceeded supply, and we've managed to bring that inflation down. But the prices aren't going back. But don't worry, because incomes went up. That's a really complicated thing for people to understand. And I think they're feeling a little frustrated. The good news is grocery prices have really moderated. And we continue to have unemployment below 4%. And we have gas prices that have come down. And so my hope is people are going to be able to take a little bit of a breather this holiday season, see that things are in pretty good shape. And as we go into 2024, I'm pretty upbeat for a year in which, the Fed does not believe that a recession's on the horizon. Obviously, a recession can happen at any time. I'm never going to be the one to tell you that we're never getting one. But I don't see one on the horizon. So it's a strong economy with moderating prices.
This isn't just any voter group, though, of course, Betsy. We're talking about UAW members, actual members of the union who just scored something like a 30% raise and improved benefits. And Joe Biden got a bit of credit, if not a lot of it, for helping to secure that deal. Do they see it differently? Obviously, this is real tangible stuff. And when we think about what else the president could do they see him as an opportunist showing up on the picket line? In other words, they see Shawn Fain as the one doing that work for them.
I can't answer that because I don't know what's in their hearts and heads. I do think that it's pretty natural for them to be not really, to be focused on Shawn Fain as being the one who negotiated the contract, to believing that they actually deserved the contract. So this isn't like, hooray, we got something that was amazing, but it's like, finally, we're getting a little bit of our due. And so I think the problem with that is, it doesn't mean that there's a lot of gratitude coming out for finally getting what you think you've been owed all along. And I don't think that President Biden should be asking them for gratitude, but I do think that they should see that President Biden is somebody there who has his back. And if they want to continue to make progress over the next 4 years, then that's going to be the guy. They don't see that yet. And I think President Biden has his work cut out for him in making that case, not about the past, but about what's going to happen over the next 4 years.
But the next 4 years, this administration wants to see an electrification of the grid, and that means cars. And isn't this at the heart of the consternation that union workers have, that their jobs going away or going to plants that are setting up battery plants in the South that are right-to-work states? In that sense, can you understand why they maybe feel like Joe Biden doesn't have their back?
Well, what I was going to say is I do think that they are fearful of this. But if you talk to the leadership at the big three automakers, what they understand is the threat is not, American policymakers are pushing us towards electric vehicles. The threat is that foreign car competitors are moving very fast towards electric vehicles. Americans are going to buy electric vehicles regardless of what ends up happening in Washington, D.C. And, what President Biden wants is for us to be buying a Ford electric vehicle or a GM electric vehicle or a Stellantis electric vehicle. And I think that the UAW has got to realize that this is not about we're going to stick with ICE or we're going to, regular combustion engines, or we're going to move over to electric. It's who's going to win. Is it going to be Tesla that everybody's driving? Is it going to be competitors from other countries? Or are we going to build a robust electric vehicle industry here in the United States? I think that's what President Biden wants. I think that's what's best for the UAW, and I think that's what the big three automakers want.
Well, Shawn Fain thinks he's going to organize Tesla, so we'll see how that goes, Professor. We heard from Jay Powell just yesterday talking to reporters about the state of the economy. I'd love to have you listen to what he said and hear your response. Here's the chair.
Forecasters generally, if you go back a year, were very broadly forecasting a recession for this year, for 2023. That includes Fed forecasters and really essentially all forecasters. A very high proportion of forecasters were expecting very weak growth or a recession. Not only did that not happen, we actually had a very strong year. And that was a combination of strong demand, but also real gains on the supply side.
Just a minute left, Professor. What are the odds that Joe Biden will be able to stand in front of the nation and say, I not only beat inflation, but we avoided a recession between now and the election?
I think there are very high odds that he's going to be able to say that. And I think he needs to say it over and over and over again until people start to see it and feel it and believe it.